Are you planning a trip to France, or are you thinking about going to France, or are you France curious? If so, you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to give you my classic France itinerary so that you can adjust it to your time and your interests. I'll give you 3D flyover maps, beautiful visuals, and bad jokes to help you plan a fantastic France trip. In my experience as a travel filmmaker in over 50 countries creating marketing videos for different tour companies, I've picked up a few tricks for building an excellent itinerary, and I'm going to share these insights with you. So without further ado, let's go to France. Ah, France. It's so much more than baguettes, berets, and breathtaking views. With its rich history and iconic landmarks, it's like stepping into a postcard. From the lush vineyards of Bordeaux inviting you to a good time, to the majestic Alps making you feel like you've landed in a snow globe. Every corner of this country has something special. And let's not forget about the food, the art, the wine, those super friendly Parisians. No wonder it's one of the most popular spots on the planet. First of all, I need to get this off my chest. I need to say this right away. Pardon my French, as in, I don't speak French. So I want to apologize to all my French-speaking friends for Americanizing these French words throughout the video. I'm going to do my best, but my best isn't so great. Also, I'm told that if I want to convince you to like and subscribe to my videos, I need to kind of work it seamlessly throughout the video, so that's what I'm doing right now. My classic France itinerary starts with you spending 3 or 4 days in Paris, and then renting a car to drive a circle west, starting with the Chateau of the Loire Valley for a couple nights, and then making your way to the coast to stop at Mont Saint-Michel on your way to Bayeux to visit the World War II sites and the famous tapestry. And from Paris, you'll catch a speed train to Avignon in Provence. You'll rent a car, spend 3 or 4 days in Provence, and then drive to the French Riviera, stopping in Cannes, and staying in Nice as your home base, taking a day trip to Monaco. If you only have a week, I suggest sticking to Paris and maybe a road trip to the Loire Valley. Or you could stay in the south and visit Provence and the French Riviera. If you have 10 days, you could go to Paris, then take a speed train to Avignon and explore Provence and the French Riviera. There are endless combinations of itineraries that you can build based on your interests. In another video, I offer a different 14-day trip that circles France, so check that out if you're interested. So let's get started with our first city, the city of love and lights, the iconic city of Paris. Paris, ami Paris. It's a treasure chest of art and history and must-see sites, from the iconic Eiffel Tower to the world-famous Louvre Museum. It's got so many incredible, charming neighborhoods, cozy cafes, and a romantic vibe that makes you swoon. I've created a 3-day Paris itinerary for you, and 3 days is the minimum that I would spend in Paris because it just hits the highlights. But don't let any travel snob tell you that you shouldn't go to Paris if you only have 3 days. Not everyone has all the time and the money in the world. So if you only have 3 days, here's how I would make the most of it. If you're following my itinerary, you're going to start your day early, all perky and ready for adventure, with a view of the Eiffel Tower from Trocadero Plaza. Then you'll walk through the Trocadero Gardens, crossing the bridge to the Eiffel Tower and the beautiful park encircling the tower. After visiting the tower, if you're lazy, you'll take a 15-minute metro ride, or you're going to walk about 30 minutes to the Arc de Triomphe. And after the Arc de Triomphe, you can eat lunch and empty your wallet on this 20-minute walk down toward the Champs-Élysées Gardens. From here, you could walk further, or you could pick up a bike share and continue your journey through the gardens toward the Concorde Plaza and explore the Tuileries Gardens with its beautifully manicured gardens and statues. From here, you can hike, bike, walk, swim, take the metro down the Seine River for a late day or evening river cruise. I was teasing you about being lazy for taking the metro, and actually I highly recommend using the metro while in Paris. It's super easy to navigate, it's clear, it's efficient, and if you do use the metro frequently, consider purchasing tickets in carnets, these 10 packs for savings, and you can also check out day passes. Now let's break down that first day itinerary with a little more detail, starting with the Eiffel Tower. If you're an early bird, trust me, get your booty out to the Eiffel Tower before the crowds roll in. As a travel filmmaker, I learned that this magical hour is when you get the best shots for the light, but also before the crowds arrive, you get a more authentic feel for the place that you're visiting, and you have it a little bit more to yourself. I recommend starting early at the top of the hill at the Trocadero Plaza, then go down the hill through the beautiful Trocadero Gardens for more photo ops as you get closer to the tower. And maybe stop by a bakery to pick up a croissant and a coffee for a beautiful French start to your day. You can hang out in the park and enjoy the area before everyone else arrives. Hopefully you booked a ticket months ago to the Eiffel Tower when they open around 9:30 in the morning. You're gonna wanna book as early as possible to avoid long lines and get a better time slot in either the morning or the evening. You can expect to spend 1 to 3 hours depending on what level you go to and what you decide to see. There are elevators or stairs and different ticket prices for various options. Going to the top, I think, is a must. It's an incredible view of the city and it's an iconic experience. You can forever look at the images of the Eiffel Tower and know that, hey, I went up to the top of that old tower. At the Arc de Triomphe, you can stop briefly to take selfies with the Arc and make all your friends back home jealous. You can purchase tickets to actually enter the Arc and view the exhibit inside and go to the top of the Arc for more city views. After the Arc de Triomphe, you can get your retail therapy with a walk down the famous Champs-Élysées, which is full of upscale shopping and cozy sidewalk cafes, such as McDonald's and Five Guises. If you want more of a Parisian treat, you can also try some of the tasty macarons from the famous La Durée Paris, an iconic patisserie with a rich culinary heritage, or Bougarking. Next, continue your walk, or as I would do, rent a bike from the bike share to get around a little faster and have a little more fun. Paris has become more bike friendly with some dedicated paths, so this may be a good option for covering short distances. However, I would avoid busy city streets unless you're an experienced urban rider or you're looking for a quick end to your France trip. After lunch, you can explore the nearby Champs-Élysées gardens and go to the massive Concorde Plaza. And this plaza is full of history, including being a focal point of the French Revolution, during which many lost their heads, including Marie Antoinette. Just a short distance away, you can wander through the beautifully manicured Tuileries Gardens. You can take a nice stroll, find a cozy bench, be present in the moment, and remind yourself how lucky you are to be in Paris. Or scroll through your social media feed and see who's liking your Eiffel Tower pics. You can also see your second arc of the day, the smaller but equally impressive Arc de Triomphe de Carousel. You can walk through the arc and you will see the iconic glass pyramid of the Louvre, a preview of what's to come on your itinerary tomorrow. And I would recommend taking a river cruise which starts near the tower. It's a great way to get an overview of Paris and see it from the Seine River. Some of the cruises even offer dinner. Unfortunately, none of them serve fast food. Or you can take a 1-hour cruise with audio commentary describing the sights as you float by. And if you go at night, you can see the City of Lights show off. At night, the Eiffel Tower illuminates the Paris skyline with its lights sparkling for 5 minutes at the top of each hour after sunset. So make sure you're paying attention and staring at the tower at the top of the hour. Now, go to bed because we got a long day tomorrow. For your second day in Paris, I recommend visiting more iconic sites grouped together. You'll begin your day with a visit to the famous Louvre Museum, then work off those croissants with a mile-long walk to Notre Dame Cathedral. From there, it's a 10-minute stroll to Sainte-Chapelle, and another 10-minute walk to the lively Latin Quarter. Finally, it's just another, you guessed it, 10-minute walk to the Luxembourg Gardens. The Louvre has a massive collection of over 35,000 pieces that have been carefully acquired or stolen from conquered countries worldwide, and it can feel daunting. For a quick visit of 1 or 2 hours, you would just focus on the famous highlights, and if you want to see more, you'll need 3 to 4 hours. How long you spend at the Louvre really depends on you. Different strokes for different folks, with some spending all day there. Rick Steves has a audio tour of the Louvre in his Audio Europe app and other places in Europe. I've used that app a lot, and I recommend it, especially if you need a break from your travel companion. You just kind of pop in an earbud and you lose yourself in Rick Steves' sultry voice, tuning out the complaints of getting up early to see the Eiffel Tower at sunrise. So anyway, thank you, Rick. Next, make your way to the famous Notre Dame Cathedral, which, as of the making of this video, is still undergoing extensive repairs following the devastating fire in April 2019. But you can still admire the iconic facade, and more importantly, you can take a selfie and make your friends back home jealous. If you're a stained glass window fan, visiting Sainte-Chapelle is a must. This Gothic church has stained glass windows soaring over 50 feet tall. Later, in the vibrant Latin Quarter, you'll discover a charming mix of bookshops, quaint cafes, and bustling markets, all with a unique artistic flair that captures the essence of Paris. After lunch, you can visit the famous Shakespeare and Company bookstore. It's a place where both locals and travelers come together to celebrate the love of books and culture and take selfies. The beautiful Luxembourg Gardens offers a nice, serene atmosphere where you can unwind or find a cozy spot on a bench to be present in the moment and soak in the picturesque surroundings. That evening, you've got a lot of options for entertainment. Paris has a vibrant opera scene. You could also go visit some of the iconic jazz clubs and listen to some live music that celebrates Paris's jazz scene. You could visit the eerie catacombs of Paris, an underground labyrinth that stretches for miles and is lined with the bones of over 6 million people. Fun for the whole family. You could also explore the nightlife in the Latin Quarter. And there's also the Moulin Rouge, but I'll go into that more for tomorrow's itinerary. And speaking of tomorrow's itinerary, here we are with my suggestion to visit Versailles, Montmartre, and catch a cabaret show. The Palace of Versailles is about 12 miles from Paris, and it's easily accessible by taking the train. I recommend booking a ticket to the palace when they open, and be sure to explore the extensive gardens afterward. You could even picnic near the lake for lunch. Most people will stop there, but if you have time, I recommend visiting more of the Versailles estate. You can rent a bike, a golf cart, take a shuttle over to Marie Antoinette's Pretend Village, and you can also visit the Trianons, making this a longer day. You're going to want to get tickets and a timed entry ahead of time, or you're going to spend a long time in line. I've been to the Versailles Palace a few times, and it gets crazy crowded. But the last time I went with my family, we got a time slot when they opened, which was incredible because we got to see the palace with much fewer people, at least for like 20 minutes. I mean, we got to be in the Hall of Mirrors with hardly anybody in there, which is so rare. Also, did you know that a puppy gets a hug and a baby giggles every time you click the like and subscribe button below? The Gardens of Versailles are a great extension of the palace, stretching about 200 acres and showcasing the beauty of the French formal garden design. They capture the grandeur and the selfishness of the Sun King's time with perfectly manicured lawns, impressive fountains, and stunning sculptures. You can pretend to be royalty, wandering along tree-lined paths, and enjoy beautiful seasonal flower displays. Try not to think about the starving French people at the time as you stroll or rent a golf cart to explore the vast and opulent gardens. I recommend visiting Marie Antoinette's village. In her late teens, Marie Antoinette had a fantastical idea of an ideal French countryside village, except this play village had luxuries that most French commoners didn't have, like a private theater and food. You can also check out the Grand Trianon. It's a great example of French architecture with its intricate details and elegant design. Plus, the gardens are super pretty too. If you spend more time at Versailles Palace, it may be late afternoon by now, and so you'll take the train back to Paris, and I recommend having dinner and spending the rest of your day and your evening in the Montmartre district. You can have dinner at a traditional French bistro. Afterward, you could capture the incredible views from the steps of the nearby basilica, especially at sunset. Then you can walk through the lively area where all the local artists are at work. And as night falls, you could catch a cabaret show at the iconic Moulin Rouge. Just remember that tickets sell out way in advance, so try to book as early as possible. If the Moulin Rouge is booked, then there are other cabaret shows at other venues in the nearby area. At some point, your rich cultural experience in Paris will come to a sad end, but there's plenty more to see in France. For my classic France tour, I suggest renting a car and heading to the Loire Valley and Normandy. You can rent a car at Charles de Gaulle Airport and drive a loop through the Loire Valley, staying in Tours or Amboise. Then you can make your way to Mont Saint-Michel for a beautiful few-hour stop on your way to Normandy. I recommend staying in Bayeux, which has easy access to many of the D-Day and World War II monuments and memorials, and is home to the Bayeux Tapestry. But if you're short on time, you might want to spend 2 to 3 days focusing on either the Loire Valley or Normandy, and not both. I should also mention that you could skip one of these destinations and spend a full day or two at Puy du Fou, I think you say it, a Renaissance-themed amusement park that draws over 2.5 million visitors a year, with its epic shows featuring knights and Vikings. The Loire Valley is often called the Garden of France because its beautiful landscapes, vineyards, and pretty chateaux. If you're planning a trip to the Loire Valley, Tours and Amboise are great places to stay. Tours is a lively city with easy access to the chateau and plenty of places to stay and eat. On the other hand, Amboise has a charming vibe and a fascinating history. It's home to the stunning Chateau Amboise and is close to Leonardo da Vinci's old home. It's a more peaceful getaway by the beautiful Loire River. On your first day in the Loire Valley, you can visit 2 or 3 chateaux, depending on how much love you have for chateau. They're all just a short drive from Tours or Amboise. Now let's explore each of these chateau options so that you can decide which ones you want to visit, so you can book your tickets online before you arrive. Chateau Villandry is a beautiful castle, and like so many castles in the Loire Valley, the gardens really steal the show. Chateau Chenonceau is often called the ladies' castle because of the strong women who had a significant influence on its legacy. You can stroll through the elegantly decorated rooms. I found the gardens even more interesting than the interior that change with the seasons. They show off the beauty of nature mixed with human creativity. When you get close to Chateau Chambord, you can't help but be wowed by its obnoxious size and luxury. The facade is impressively gaudy with its detailed sculptures and tall chimneys. Once you're inside, make sure you check out the famous double helix staircase. For your next day, consider visiting Tours or Amboise, depending on which town you haven't visited yet. If you're still up for it and you aren't chateaued out, you could visit 1 or 2 more, along with a local winery. Chateau Amboise is a medieval castle perched on a hilltop with prime real estate beside the river. And you can pay your respects at Leonardo da Vinci's burial site there. If you're looking to do something different than castles, you might enjoy a wine tour in the area. And now let's talk about Normandy, a region full of history, incredible coastlines, and Camembert cheese. And let's start with Mont Saint-Michel, which makes a great stop on the way to or from the Loire Valley, or if you have time, you can spend the night there. A visit to Mont Saint-Michel is like stepping into a fairy tale, especially at high tide when it seems to float. And as the tide recedes, voila! Sandy beaches are revealed all around, and you start questioning who thought this would be an excellent way to keep out intruders. The Normandy American Cemetery and Memorial is a moving tribute to American soldiers who sacrificed their lives during the Normandy campaign. With over 9,000 pristine white marble headstones, the cemetery offers a serene space for reflection. Next to the cemetery, you can visit Omaha Beach, where you'll find numerous markers commemorating the courageous acts that occurred on that fateful day. Just a short drive from here is Pont Du Gard. You can walk the area and see the scars of battle, including German bunkers and bomb craters. The Museum of the Battle of Normandy offers an in-depth look at the D-Day landings and the multifaceted aftermath of the war. The Bayeux Tapestry is an embroidered cloth that tells the story of the events leading up to the Norman conquest of England. It's measuring about 230 feet long, currently housed in the Bayeux Museum. If you have time on your way back to Paris to return your car, a great stop is Monet's garden. This estate honors the Impressionist painter Claude Monet. It's got stunning flower beds, a serene pond, and that iconic Japanese bridge that inspired his Water Lilies series. If you're planning a trip to the south of France, you can do this in one day thanks to the TGV, the high-speed train that travels directly from Paris to Avignon. It's a comfortable train. You can sit back and enjoy blurs of the French countryside as it flies by at 180 miles per hour and typically lasts around 2 hours and 40 minutes. You can rent a car at the train station in Avignon for your time in Provence and the French Riviera. If you rent a car at the station, the historic center is only 3 to 4 miles away. If you stay within the city walls, which I highly recommend, you're going to need to park outside of the city walls and then carry your things into where you're staying. I do recommend you staying at least one night within the walls of Avignon, especially if you're only there one night. And I would ask your hotel or wherever you're staying to store your bags after checkout so you can spend at least half of the next day in Avignon. Avignon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a charming town with a lot of history, and it's known for its unique architecture, especially the Palace of the Popes, home to 7 popes in the 14th century. You could walk down by the canals and visit the historic water mills. And you should definitely check out the bridge, which is an iconic bridge, which is famously mentioned in a popular children's song. After your stay in Avignon, I recommend driving about 30 minutes to Pont Du Gard, an ancient Roman aqueduct. Then it's a 40-minute to an hour drive to either the village of St Remy or the city of Arles, which you can make your home base and explore the area for a couple of days. You could take day trips to the hillside villages like Les Baux, Gourds, or you could visit the nearby lavender fields. And you're also close to hiking and biking opportunities throughout the region. The Pont du Gard is an ancient Roman aqueduct that is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its impressive 3-tiered arches show off the engineering brilliance and cost-effective labor force of the Roman Empire. Plan to spend 1 to 3 hours exploring this region. It really depends on what you want to do. You could walk across the bridge. Please like and subscribe. And you can find lovely picnic spots and recreation areas nearby. I've enjoyed swimming there with the bridge arches looming over me. And you can also rent kayaks to paddle under the bridge and explore further down the river. Arles is a lively city brimming with history and culture. It's known for its artistic vibe and connection to Vincent van Gogh, who famously created several iconic pieces in this area. Arles also has Roman ruins, including a well-preserved 1st century amphitheater that still hosts performances today. St Remy is a charming village with a little more relaxed feel. It's the birthplace of Nostradamus, who predicted you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. St Remy is also connected to Vincent van Gogh, who was inspired to create more than 150 pieces of art during his time at the nearby asylum. One of the things to do while visiting Provence is to see hillside towns in the area. Every week, different towns host their markets with fresh produce, artisanal goods, and local specialties. I highly recommend visiting at least one market to gain an insight into the local specialties and the artists in the area. If you're looking for a hill town that's closer and doesn't require as much driving, go to Les Baux, which is a beautiful village known for its impressive ruins and views of the nearby mountains. You can find lots of local shops and art galleries while exploring the charming narrow streets. I also recommend visiting the nearby this place, which I can't pronounce. It's an incredible place where these classic artworks are projected onto the quarry walls, and it allows you to feel like you're walking through a masterpiece. Plus, it's a really nice escape from the heat in summer. Gourds is known for its stone buildings and its incredible views of the valley. If your visit falls between mid-June and mid-July, I would visit the nearby Abbey where you can experience the lavender fields in full bloom. Another popular destination is about an hour and a half drive from Gourds. And when visiting these lavender fields, you should aim to go during the golden hours of early morning or in the late afternoon when the sunlight brings out the vibrant hues of the lavender fields. But just be ready to share this place with a bunch of other selfie enthusiasts. Roussillon is known for its vibrant, colorful cliffs which create a landscape painted with hues of red and yellow. This is a starting point for some great hiking trails that wind through the quarries and views of the valley below. In addition to fantastic hiking opportunities in the area, there's lots of cycling options that are available. Many bike rental shops offer a variety of bicycles, including e-bikes, and I would recommend talking to the staff on the best routes that are tailored to your skill level and interests. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, I should mention that you could also go to the Verdun Gorge, which is about 3 hours from St. Remy, where you can go hiking and kayaking and rock climbing. So it's an incredible place to go, but it's a bit out of the way for this itinerary. If you have more time in the area, you might consider booking a tour to Camargue region along the coast. And here's where you can see the white horses in their natural habitat. You can book tours that leave from Arles for day-long safari trips. Provence is also known for its incredible wines and its vineyards and incredible food. So you might want to book a wine tour, take a guided bike tour, a cooking class. All these are available to check out at sites like Get Your Guide or Viator. Aix-en-Provence is nicknamed the city of 1,000 fountains, and this charming spot can easily charm you for a night or two or maybe a month. The magic really happens on market days when the town buzzes with the sights and smells of fresh local goodies and crafts. You can also stroll through the picturesque cobblestone streets, hang out at one of those 1,000 fountains, and if you need to unwind, they have thermal baths. If you plan to go to the French Riviera next, then you have some options for getting there and what you want to see along the way. From Aix-en-Provence, you could drive directly along the coast, visiting Cannes, home of the famous film festival, on your way to your home base in Nice. But if you have time, you may want to detour to the Calanques National Park, then stopping in Cannes and Antibes on your way over to Nice. Calanques National Park is an hour south of Aix-en-Provence. Its stunning cliffs and crystal clear waters draw sunbathers and adventure enthusiasts alike, which make it perfect for hiking or swimming or sunbathing, paddling, French kissing, you name it. And then continuing on in Cannes for an hour or two to visit the famous Festival Palace, the iconic venue for the Cannes Film Festival, and you can relax on the beach, or you can wander along the famous boulevard where luxury shops are happy to empty your bank account. Nice is a jewel of a city known for its blend of sun-kissed beaches, vibrant culture, and Italian-themed architecture. And the promenade is an iconic boardwalk that lines the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean, where you can walk, rent a bike, relax on the pebbled beach while soaking up the sun. You can wander through the vibrant, colorful streets of Nice's Old Town, where you'll find beautiful markets, sidewalk cafes, unique shops selling local delicacies like the chickpea flatbread from Nice, or this tart topped with caramelized onions, olives, anchovies, making it an excellent choice to devour before kissing a loved one. You could hike up Castle Hill for a panoramic view of the city and the coastline. And there's museums in the area for all you art lovers. While in Nice, I recommend a half-day trip to Monaco. You can leave midday or late afternoon to enjoy the beautiful coastline at sunset and the iconic Monte Carlo casino in the evening. On your way from Nice to Monaco, I recommend visiting Ez Village, about a 30-minute drive from Nice. Monaco is a sovereign city-state known for its luxury and race cars. This entire country is less than a square mile. You can visit the Palace of Monaco, where you can take guided tours to learn about the family that has ruled for over 7 centuries. And the iconic Monte Carlo casino is a highlight, making you feel poor no matter how much money you have. I tend to spend more time outside the casino checking out the impressive high-end cars in the parking lot. If you plan on going into the casino, then you need to dress in your best travel clothes. You don't need to go overboard, but this would be the day to skip the cargo shorts and the flip-flops and the who farted t-shirts. And if you laughed at that, you're my kind of person, and you really should consider liking and subscribing so we can keep this relationship going. So I'm gonna take a nice pause. You can go down below. I won't say anything really important right now. Just click that like, the bell icon. You can subscribe. If you're feeling in a good mood, you could leave a comment. So I'm just gonna let you do that right now. I'll wait for you. If you click that like and that bell icon, then you're gonna be showered with good luck and happiness and probably a pet unicorn for the rest of your life. So congratulations. Good choice. If this is the end of your trip to France, then you can return your car to the Nice airport and be on your way. However, I would be remiss if I did not mention one of my favorite destinations in France, the breathtaking French Alps near Chamonix. I filmed a Tour de Mont Blanc hiking trip, which was over about 11 days for an outdoor adventure company, and it was so beautiful that I returned a couple of years later with my wife to see some of the highlights. You could fly from Nice to Geneva, Switzerland, and then rent a car to drive to Chamonix for about an hour or so. Chamonix is a perfect alpine getaway nestled at the foot of Mont Blanc. You'll love strolling through the streets filled with traditional chalets and murals, cafes, outdoor gear stores, and a lot of them are accented with these colorful flowers during the warm summer months. Visiting the Aiguille de Midi is a must-see when you're in Chamonix. You're gonna go up this cable car up to 12,600 feet, and you will have your breath taken away, mostly from the altitude, but also from the views. And once you arrive, you'll be treated to a 360-degree view of Mont Blanc massive. And if you're crafty, you could snap a photo of yourself at the summit, creating the illusion that you've just conquered it, leaving your friends to reconsider ever calling you a wimp. You can also take the Cog Railway to visit France's largest glacier. And sadly, like other glaciers worldwide, it's melting, so enjoy it while you can. I recommend walking down to the ice cave where you can admire the stunning ice sculptures lit up in these cool colors and learn about the glacier's history, including how fast it's melting and how doomed we all are. If you have more time in the area, I recommend driving through Mont Blanc Tunnel to Italy, to the beautiful town of Courmayeur. And from Courmayeur, you can hike up to one of the most beautiful stretches of the TMB and spend the night at the Bonatti Hut. The next day, you can hike towards the Swiss border, down to the bottom, where you can take a shuttle back to Courmayeur. Courmayeur is a beautiful Italian town with a French name, and it's worth a visit if you have time. The hike to the hut offers these incredible, breathtaking views with plenty of spots to sit down and question your life choices. It's the best mountain refuge on the TMB, and it fills up quickly. It's a really great experience that I highly recommend, especially if you're into hiking in the outdoors. Please check out my channel for more destinations around France and the rest of the world. And if you're in a good mood, please comment below if you think this video was helpful or if you have any itinerary suggestions. Let's make this fun and let's help each other out. Have a great trip in France. Au revoir and ciao for now.